But in terms of me, how does it affect me in terms of what do I grow? Well, just to give you, without giving you a geography lesson or a farming lesson, which I don't want to do, just to try and share with you what affects what I can grow and what we produce here. So as I've frequently said, food production is still at the heart of what we do here. Yes, our emphasis has changed, and we'll probably touch on that later on, but we're still producers of food. What we produce is decided by the land we have to work with. So if you've got some nice, lush, green, fertile land that grows grass, then that's where we rear cows. If we've got some dry upland land that can be cultivated, that's where we would grow crops. So what a farmer grows, me, same as everybody else around the country and worldwide, you grow what you can in the climate and the land that you have available to us. So immediately, I hope you're trying to understand that our parameters of what we can and would like to grow start off very wide, but then get smaller and smaller. I'm not going to grow vegetables on the top of Arundel Park. I could try, but it probably wouldn't be very productive. Equally, there's a reason why only sheep graze on the mountains in Wales and in the Lake District. And there's a reason why they grow vegetables down on the lovely fertile land down near the sea on the Chichester Plain. So immediately, the land that we're given to work with dictates what we can grow. Yes, we can force the boundaries and try and put water on or put more things there, but ultimately, we are governed by what those parameters force us into. So it narrows down our options and creates a narrower field, no pun intended, for what we can grow. So in our respect here, our land is covered by cattle producing both milk and cattle grown for beef, which is what you see out here. We graze sheep on the high ground up near the park, on top of the land, looking down to the castle. And on the strip of slightly better fertile land that runs between the two, we cultivate it and grow crops. So that's the building blocks that we have to produce the food that we have. And it's those crops that we grow that create the landscape that everybody sees around. As time has gone on, things have become more mechanized, and we've got, in theory, better at growing what we do. But it's also changed in terms of our emphasis has changed, and it will continue to change. And what we are, and our need to produce food is still fundamentally there, but there are other elements starting to come into play, which we'll talk about later on. I know it'll come in as we go forward. So as I said, food production is still at the heart of what we do. The big physical landscape we can't change. The parameters within which we work dictate what we grow, and that creates the colors, it creates the livestock, it creates the buildings that we house our cattle in winter. These are all the elements that these artists have drawn on to create what they see, and it's their interpretation of what they see that you now see around you. Art is a very personal thing I've learned to understand, and everybody can look at the same, they can look at exactly the same landscape and come up with two completely different answers.